state, but that's okay. Our attorneys in your state are.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Jacksonville area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Cordell & Cordell, Jacksonville, Florida. Lisa Cargus, Florida resident partner. Announcers are not licensed attorneys.
The flagship station of the Jaguars, 1010XL. 92.5 FM.
I travel internationally, and my wife's a flight attendant internationally, so she goes everywhere and gets duty-free everywhere.
Chris Jones literally shopped all over the world to find the perfect diamond for his wife, but nowhere did he find better value than right here at Global Diamonds.
In my experience, there's nothing that compares, whether it be duty-free in the Caribbean or other countries.
In fact, Chris actually knows some jewelers in the Caribbean, and he said even his friends down there couldn't beat Global Diamonds.
Knowing jewelers in the Caribbean to say, hey, this is the price they're quoting me, can you do it for me, make it for me, and I'll save a few bucks? He said, I can't get anywhere close to that. Just take it. That's fantastic value.
Global Diamonds, a world diamond powerhouse, offering true direct importer prices on exquisite hand-picked diamonds.
You're certainly getting quality and price.
Global Diamonds, literally known around the globe for unbeatable value, uncompromising quality, and unmatched customer care.
You're certainly getting more bang for your buck.
Global Diamonds, official jeweler of the Jacksonville Jaguars, at the Markets of Town Center between West Marine and REI.
Get ready for summer with new beachwear from Hardball Creative. Towels, chairs, tents, or umbrellas. Let Hardball do it all. Online at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Have you been putting off a paint project because of the hassles involved? Picking colors, repairing damaged areas. Maybe you're just wondering if the painters will show up on time. Will they respect your property or leave a huge mess? I'm Jason Parker with Performance Painting. Allow our team to show you what it's like to get a great customer experience and a great paint job. Go to performance-painting.com. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Thinning or balding hair? IHRS can now stimulate hair growth and reverse thinning hair for both men and women by using your own stem cells through platelet-rich plasma treatments. You will obtain rapid new hair growth through your own stem cells by using your own blood through platelet-rich plasma. This is a safe and easy procedure with no downtime. Now you can stimulate hair growth and obtain healthier and more hair as early as 3 months after one treatment. For more information, call IHRS at 904-302-5703. That's 302-5703. Now you can stimulate hair growth and reverse thinning hair by using your own hair stem cells through platelet-rich plasma in your frontal hairline, crown area, and entire top of your head. This is a safe and easy procedure with no downtime. For more information, call IHRS at 904-302-5703. 302-5703.
Bobcat of Jacksonville is now in their new location just off Commonwealth at 295 on Sumac Road. Same great people, but more Doosan heavy equipment, parts, and service bays. Do more with Doosan at the all-new Bobcat of Jacksonville. Find them at bobcatjacks.com.
The installation experts at Tire Outlet bring you this installment of ETN. TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service. This is Excuse the Nuisance.
You lied to me, Beef. Apparently ETN stands for Excuse the Nuisance.
They changed it. They had a meeting yesterday.
All right.
Sorry. I wasn't privy to the information.
Because ETN rolls on,
just
Jason.
Just a little 5-question foray into what are the top stories of the morning.
Okay.
No big deal. Jason's our guest Googan judge. And
fantastic.
We'll get started right now.
No, we won't. We got to tell everybody what Jason
won.
won.
No one cares what Jason won. They didn't win.
It's part of the sponsorship agreement. Of
yes. You mean sponsorship agreement of the segment you don't want to do?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, gentlemen. I got to say that it's an absolute honor to be the last judge on ETN.
Thank you. It's great to have you. It's the final one.
The last judge until tomorrow.
Now I feel like we have a bit we should run for like 3 more years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's try saying this thing. Jason's going to get himself a pair of tickets down to the World Golf Hall of Fame. Includes admission to the Hall of Fame, a round on the putting course, and a shot at the challenge hole. Plus, for the next time he forays away from Jacksonville, he'll get himself some free airport parking from USAPark.net.
That Golf Hall of Fame, by the way, if you're a sports fan in town or a golfer or a golf fan and you haven't been, I mean, it's amazing how many people still have never been there. But I've had to go down there for a couple of events in the last year.
It's cool, man.
It is really cool.
All right.
Let's party.
Let's do it.
Round one.
Round one, guys. Obviously, the story that's kind of dominated the news cycle through the evening was the statement released from the White House disinviting the Philadelphia Eagles from the White House. Obviously, there's a lot of hot takes on both sides of that account, but it raised a more broad question in that this isn't exactly like a time-honored tradition. It's just been around for a few decades now of, the president bringing in champions. And, since it seems to be a very contentious thing every time it comes up now, is it time to maybe do away with the White House visit?
It just is it time to do away? No, because I think it's a wonderful experience for many athletes, including student athletes, for example, Alabama football team or Clemson, who have gone to the White House to visit and be a part of a ceremony. I think that's listen. If I was asked to go to the White House, whether you agree or disagree with, you're always going to disagree with some of the president's opinions and issues and such. But to me, the opportunity to go to the White House and be with the standing president of the United States is a pretty unbelievable honor.
Well, it used to be. Well, the respect for the office of the president has gone AWOL, buddy. And so in the partisan era that we live in and the difference of political opinion that now, leads to goodness knows what sometimes, it at least for the current administration, it might not be a bad idea, quite frankly.
Let's go winner, Jeff.
Round two.
Round two, guys. Meanwhile, the NFL season, not necessarily right around the corner, but mini camps are right around the corner, and then training camp, and then the season's here. But right now, we're kind of focused on the off season, and Bill Barnwell, you know him, you love him, over at ESPN. He did a column about 15 free agents who are still on the market. Big names, whether they're past their prime or not, but still recognizable names. And one of them he connected to the Jaguars, and that's Matt Moore, the former Dolphins backup quarterback who they've since replaced with Ryan Tannehill. Is there a thought? Can you align yourself with Barnwell's thinking, at least, that maybe a more veteran presence behind Blake Bortles would fit?
No. It's a dumb idea. It's the last thing the Jags need is a underaccomplished, unworthy, unproductive, unpredictable quarterback. The Jaguars need if they were going to go get a veteran backup, if that's the plan, then they need to have a guy that if they go to the postseason and the quarterback gets hurt, they have a chance. We saw Matt Moore in that situation against the Steelers last year, and he was god-awful. Matt Moore is terrible. Matt Moore has been the next thing for 7 years, and maybe 7 years ago he was worth a roster spot. I'd rather have Cody Kessler. If I got a possession tomorrow, I'd rather have Kessler than Matt Moore, who had 1,000 chances to win the Dolphins' job and can't do it.
Well, the point is this, and let's wait and see, is my answer to what Cody Kessler does throughout OTAs, training camp, and the preseason games. Because, listen, Bortles is the quarterback, and Bortles never misses time, but at some point he may get, knock on wood, injured. And if he does, and you need a guy for a week or two to win games, I think the question is, do you want a quarterback who's more experienced? Well, if Cody Kessler has a poor training camp and preseason games, maybe you do want to look at someone else to come in to be the team's backup. But right now, the answer is no, you don't need him. You want to see how Cody Kessler develops.
I think if it was me, we don't need any more experience. We should have never got rid of Henne. Let's go to winner, Jeff.
Round three.
Round three, guys. Speaking of players that could potentially be available, not necessarily for the Jaguars, but the gang over at CBS Sports pegged 10 guys who could be trade targets now that we're past that June 1st mark. And most of the names are guys who get your eyebrows raised, but the last guy on the list is probably the least likely to be dealt, but it's Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, he's at an impasse with the Steelers and likely not to be there long term, but could you even foresee a scenario where they would consider dealing him before the season?
If you asked this question in February, maybe you could come up. Is it me?
No.
Robert's rules.
Robert's rules of order.
All right, well, you go ahead.
The answer is no. Le'Veon Bell's not going anywhere. Le'Veon Bell's staying with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to ride with Le'Veon Bell. He may not be back. Pittsburgh may get tired of him after this year or whatever, but Le'Veon Bell is a critical part of what the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to try to do offensively. They know he's not going to be around. He'll roll in camp sometime, and off they'll go, but Le'Veon Bell is no.
Why do I feel like Le'Veon Bell's going to tank this year? Either by injury or play. I just feel the tank coming, and you get franchised a couple, 3 years in a row, and your mindset goes AWOL. But I will say this. I would have answered this question different if you'd asked it in February or March. But when the draft comes and goes and the Steelers don't touch a running back in the first 4 rounds, that tells you how solid they are on the guy they have, Le'Veon Bell, and playing with him at a franchise tag for another year if they have to.
Winner Dan.
Round 4.
Round 4, guys. Shifting gears to the
procedure
to the hardball. The New York Yankees find themselves in a squabble with the worldwide leader. The Yankees somehow are scheduled now to play 3 games in 24 hours due to a bit of a schedule mishap. They were selected by ESPN for the Sunday night game on July 8th and have a rain makeup doubleheader July 9th in Baltimore, which would put them in the play 3 games in about a day's stretch. They obviously don't want to do that, but they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, and some are calling it a boycott of ESPN, threatening to not cooperate with ESPN should they be forced in that Sunday night slot. Are the Yankees, are they right to cry foul here a little bit, or is
they're completely wrong.
A long season?
They want to cry foul, then they need to call the commissioner and cry foul. Major League Baseball and the billions of dollars that they bring in from the TV contract. And the TV contract doesn't give a damn if there was a rainout in April. The Yankees got a lot of nerve. Watch SportsCenter today. It's Yankee Central. You can't take all of that positive coverage and all of that recognition and then whine and cry because you got 1 day of a short turnaround. I mean, come on. Listen, if they were playing at the Yankees, then we got an argument. I mean, Baltimore to New York's like a 10-minute skip. So, this is way crybaby to death here. The Yankees got no argument. None.
What is the question, please?
The question is, are the Yankees right to cry foul about this pickle they find themselves in, or is it just a case it's a long season, you got put in a tough spot, deal with it?
If I take you back to days of yesteryear when the boys were traveling via the train, they'd have to hurry and play 2 games.
Is that not a quick mode?
In all flannel cotton baseball uniforms in 150 degrees. Major League Baseball has gone out of its way to make this as easy as possible. However, with that said, because of the collective bargaining agreement and the rules and such and the way that things are set up, the Yankees, while coming off as looking as a bunch of crybabies, are simply trying to make a point that, hey, wait a minute now. In the rules, we're not supposed to be doing this. We're not supposed to be playing on Sunday night, traveling, and then playing 2 games the next day. So any team, it gets bigger headlines because it's the Yankees, but if it was anybody else's team and they were doing it, it wouldn't get as big of headlines, but the other teams would do it as well. That's all, and that's what's happening here.
He pulled out the flannel. Let's give it a round 5.
Round 5.
Great point.
I think ESPN should say, okay, boycott between ESPN and the Yankees is now on. No more TV games. No more covering the locker room. No more giving your scores. There we go. There's a boycott.
Great point made on the 1010XL text line driven by Duval, Florida as well. Don't forget, New York, very tough place to play.
It's very tough.
Very tough. Tougher
That's
than most.
Mickey.
It's not Cleveland. Lastly, round 5, this thing kind of...
You guys are hard on me.
This thing kind of fell off
I batted out of order once.
The radar, much to the delight of Adam Silver. Focus was back on the finals. Nobody was talking about Twittergate with Brian Colangelo, but it's resurfaced a little bit. The Sixers are hiring a firm to look into whether Colangelo was connected to these burner Twitter accounts. It seemed like he was as good as fired when this first broke, but you think this guy might skate now?
Yeah, I think he's got a chance, especially if he can convince Mrs. Colangelo to take the heat for him. And if he goes to her and says, look, honey, this isn't great. I mean, this is not good for your reputation. But if you love the Louis Vuitton, if you love the nice
do it for the bag man
that I'm buying you, if you like all the vacations that we're taking, you're going to have to take the heat on this one because you're the only one who would know, and you're the best explainer for it not being me. I mean, who else would be following our son on 3 different burner accounts? So this is set up nicely if I can get you to take the heat for it and keep my reputation intact.
What's the question, Beef?
The question is, after all this time has passed, does it seem now more like Colangelo's going to skate?
I could care less. I don't think anybody could. Let me tell you Colangelo's impact so far on the Sixers. He took Markelle Fultz, a one-armed guard from Washington. If I'm the Philly fans, I'm going to set up 8 more burner accounts just to get rid of this clown. So
you did trade up for that.
Yeah,
Jeff.
and let's bring back the old guy, who did the process, who got us going in the right direction. This is the most overblown story. First of all, I don't care if Brian Colangelo, none of us do. None of us care what he's tweeting. And if Joel Embiid wants him fired, I go to Joel Embiid, my best player, and say, hey, do you want me to get rid of this clown or should we just keep him around? And then if we do get rid of this clown, I could literally go down to the Philadelphia Art Museum, find a guy in a suit, and sit him in the office.
Again, guys, it was a great pleasure being the last one, but we're going to go winner, Jeff, today.
Well, good luck. The ETN is
Jason.
dead.
Thank
Goodbye.
you, Jason. Once again.
Never again.
Fantastic programmatic element.
You killed it,
here.
Jason.
Yeah.
You just finished it off, Jason. Final judge ever.
It's like a dagger right in its heart.
Perfect. All right, this is the drill. We celebrate. I'm going to take a victory lap through the unair-conditioned halls of 1010XL, and we'll be back with more on a Catlin Truck Accessories Tuesday.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
The Drill on 1010XL. From the studios of Republic Services, we'll handle it from here. The 1010XL Podcast Network is here.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Original podcasts from your favorite personalities.
Really?
Dan Hicken and Frank Franchi on the Gators.
Check.
Hacker on Prep Sports.
Check.
Off the Tee with Joe C.
Check.
Baseball, Baloo, T-Wig, and more.
Check.
Visit the all-new 1010XL.com for details.
Hey, Hicken here for my friends at Nimnick Buick GMC. That's Jacksonville's lease headquarters. You bet it is. If your lease is up or you need to get out of your current lease, Nimnick Buick GMC can help you out. They'll get you out of that lease and into a new